What is going on, people? We are back with another video regarding Sarper's current lawsuit. Now, the woman that you see in front of you is Lisa. Lisa is a woman that works or represented under the company of Hypermania Productions. And this is the woman that is actually suing Sarper himself in particular. Now, as we can see here, she is also, by the looks of it, a comedian, okay? And, well, this is exactly who she is. And then also on top of that, she did come out with a little post herself on, I believe, TikTok. Where, as you can see in this one itself in particular, there's an article that she's obviously put out there where it says Lisa champions pretty woman in a still male dominated comedy world. And then also here puts in the caption, last night some lowlife called me and told me I was a nobody. Try to guess who it was. I'll give you a hint. It was not the LA Times. So it seems to me as if she may just be hinting to either one, Sarper or Shekinah. If you ask me personally, after what I show you next, I'm going to say it was probably Shekinah. Now, here's the thing. When this little reel stuff was being played, there's a song that's been played at the same time, which is called Fake, 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 as you can see titled here. Okay. Now, upon this itself in particular, she also went out of her way to add some information into her own little description itself in particular, where it says, a lowlife called me last night and started attacking my character, saying I'm shady, I'm a nobody, and I have no connections in the industry. Listen, dude, I don't need connections. I make my own way. Don't project your reality onto me, okay? I won't name names. I'll give it a hint. It was not the LA Times. Again, for me personally, even though she said dude, it doesn't necessarily mean it is a man per se, you know what I mean? So I do believe it's probably Shekinah that she's referring to, but again, it could be Sarper. But either way though, whether it's Shekinah or Sarper, it doesn't really make a difference because both of them realistically should not be making contact with her, considering the fact that they are now being sued by Lisa herself in particular. All right, now I have also been able to obtain some more information regarding the court documents. Well, my apologies, the lawsuit itself in particular. Okay, there's a whole lot of information here. Now, I'm only going to point at the parts that I believe that are significant for you guys to want to know. But if you want to pause it and read some of the other bits, feel free to absolutely do that by any means necessary. Now, itself in particular here on number 8, it says the following causes of action are attached and the statements above apply to each. Each complaint must have one or more causes of action attached. And as you can see here, the ones that are attached is breach of contract, common count, and also other. And other, of course, we don't know for sure because it has not been stated, but it could be fraud or defamation. Defamation could be it because right now, obviously, Shekinah went out of her way to, you know, pretty much call out Lisa's character, so it could be that. Also, on top of that, on number 10 itself in particular here, it says plaintiff prays for judgment for cost of suit. For such relief is fair, just, and equitable, or for, as you can see, damages of $100,000. Okay, interest of the damage on the damage such lay, and also according to proof and according to proof again when it comes to attorney of fees. Okay, so this is something that I was able to see in this part of the contract itself in particular. Okay, folks, and then sorry, I keep saying contract because it looks like a contract to me, but it's obviously a lawsuit. My apologies if I do keep saying contract. And then, of course, on the next page, in particular, cause of action, breach of contract, which is obviously here attached to the complaint, as well as also written, and also a copy of agreement to be attached as well to Exhibit A. Okay. Then it comes out here by saying that on July 21st of 2025, they have ticked off the following acts, and those following acts, I presume, would be failing to perform as required under the agreement of exclusivity, failing to the instruction, direction, and failing to follow advice given in good faith and performing in public direct contravention of the agreement, cancelling the scheduled performance, colliding with the scheduled venue to circumvent the agreement, and disregarding plaintiffs without cause. All right, and then also on top of that here, ticked again as follows: plaintiff Hypermania has been deprived of the revenue from the scheduled performance and has invested thousands of dollars in time and out of pocket cost in amount to be proven in trial. Plaintiff Lisa has suffered damage to her reputation and damage to her brand as a result of defendant's conduct, breach of the contract as a result of defendants, and does 1 to 5 defamation of her honesty and integrity. So of course, defamation is definitely another part that is being part of the lawsuit, shall I say. And then also says plaintiff is entitled to attorney fees by agreement or statute. Okay, and also is marked off according to proof. So this is something that obviously we discovered on that page itself in particular. Okay, and then obviously we move on itself here onto this page where again now this is all about the cause of action, common counts, complaint, and then plaintiff, and then we go down here where it says ticked off, which is B, within the last 2 years. And then it says for work, labor, services, and materials rendered at the special instance and request of defendant, and for which defendant promised to pay plaintiff. Okay, and then also says here that the reasonable value, and then also ticked off is for money paid, laid out, and expended to or for defendant special instance and request. All right, so there's a whole lot going on. Also here that we've got the complaint here where it says $27,500, which is the reasonable value is due an unpaid dispute plaintiff's demand, okay, plus pre-judgment interest, okay, according to proof. All right, this is obviously dated on April 30th, 2025. Then also ticked off is plaintiff is entitled to attorney fees by agreement or a statute according to proof. So again, it seems to me as if Lisa's company is coming out with a lot of proof against obviously Sarper at this moment in time. And then also here again, cause of action, fraud. So fraud is obviously the third one. It wasn't necessarily defamation, but then again, maybe there's 4 of them. And then obviously here, as we can see, so right now there's 3 things that they're obviously being sued for, which is absolutely crazy. And then also attached is obviously the complaint itself in particular. And then also what is ticked off here is the intentional and neglectment of misrepresentation, okay. And then obviously ticked off it is as follows. Defendant agreed to engage the services of plaintiffs to provide instruction, writing services, promotion services, and other professional advice to connection with the development of the defendant's professional career. And the defendant agreed to heed plaintiff's advice and follow the plaintiff's suggestions and recommendations, and granted certain exclusivity of performance right to plaintiffs in exchange or in exchange. I'm sure I was going to say in exchange, but either way. Has set forth in agreement dated April 30th, 2025. And then also added here, ticked as follows again. Defendant has no intention to honor the agreement and immediately took the benefits of the plaintiff's services, efforts, and out-of-pocket expenses that plaintiffs paid on defendant's behalf and his specific intents and request. And then also on top of that, as you can see, ticked off again, when defendant made the representations, defendant knew they were false. So again, saying that these guys know that they were lying. Oh boys, I tell you what, Shakana really put Sarper in a very, very terrible situation right now. I tell you that now, folks, because this is not cool itself in particular. This part here, I believe I've already read, because this is the third one, isn't it, in particular? So I may have actually done that one more than once. So I believe this is probably the last one itself in particular here, folks. So oh, actually, hold on a minute. No, I think this is actually a continuation. My apologies, folks. Promise without intent to perform. And then also ticked as follows. Defendant at the time of entering into the agreement intended to gain information and knowledge of the industry from the plaintiffs and agreed to certain performance exclusivity rights to exchange with no intention of honoring his agreement or allowing plaintiffs to recruit the time and energy and out-of-pocket costs to be expended, and which were expended at defendant's specific instance and request for the benefit of the defendant itself in particular. Okay, folks. And then also he says has followed again. Plaintiffs expended many hours in confidence calls with defendant, expended out-of-pocket costs for promotional efforts marketing efforts and to write an entire performance of an original material expressively for the benefit of defendant. Interesting. And then also on top of that, number 6, because of plaintiff's reliance upon defendant's conduct and plaintiff has been damaged, it says here TikTok has followed in an amount of not less than $50,000 to be proven in time of trial. My apologies, folks. So this is obviously everything here itself in particular that has obviously, been reported, of course, on the lawsuit itself in particular. So these are the papers I'd imagine that Sarper was served with. I mean, listen, I hope Sarper or Shekinah's got a very good lawyer ahead of them, because they are suffering 3 complaints, okay? 3 causes of action. And if I was them, I'd definitely get ahead of this as much as I can, if they can. But it seems to me as if Hive Motion, Lisa and her crew have definitely got ahead of it way beforehand. They seem to have covered a lot of bases, and they seem to have a lot of proof as well, because it does say that they've got proof as well. So that should be interesting. But as of this last one itself in particular, it seems to me as if 50,000 may be the amount now they're looking for. Before we reported it was 35,000 or more. This one obviously says that in the amount of not less than 50,000 to be proven at the time of trial. And also on top of that, there was another part where it did say 27,500, didn't it? So that was quite interesting too. So I mean, does that mean it's actually $77,500 dollars? Is that are we adding those together and saying that is obviously what is needed? But then again, at the same time, at the beginning of the contract, which was made in the other video, it did also say 35,000 or more. This one says 50,000 to be proven. Do you know what I mean? So I'm interested if it's all that man together. And then also there was a part that did say in the contract about it being 100,000 itself in particular too. That's it, at the very beginning it says damages of $1,000 but I'm not too sure if that means up to that or not. Interesting, very, very interesting. But right now we're looking at definitely around that 1,000 of damages anyway, because obviously that is what's stated here, which is absolutely insane. Well, let me know exactly what you're thinking down below in the comment section, folks, and of course any more information that I can find, I will be here to give you guys an update. Yeah, thank you, peace.